Hey, so I'm going to be doing reviews on this channel as well, so I won't be doing them on my community post from now on. Let me guys know if you like this or not. Anyways, let's get right into this review. Now, I've looked into Plushworlds and made reviews on him twice, one being Mars Vacation, which had many flaws, and The Robbery, a much better video. I'm not going to say that he's a bad plush tuber, but he's one of those plush tubers who's more generically good than absolutely fantastic. He's kind of similar to someone like Mario Plush Kid, someone who's not trying to be super big in the community, and instead just wants to make content solely for fun. Now, despite what I've said about him, he has some slip-ups on his channel, this one being probably the worst offender as of right now. Standing Soldier Season 1, Episode 1, otherwise known as A Team Forms. Standing Soldiers is a series Plushworlds has started, and I'm going to run down the pilot episode pointing out all the pros and the cons in the way to help him improve on the series, because I'll go out and say it, this first episode is bad. Anyways, enough stalling, let's get into this.
I don't know why I have to live here. I got a whole tower, but it's being rebuilt. I know. I'll make a superhero team called the Standing Soldiers.
Just to let you guys know, I did not skip anything. This is literally what the first 22 seconds of the video presents. This is an extremely way to start off the episode, and I'll break apart why. First off, we are given literally no background information as to who this guy is, and no reason as to why he even wants to create this superhero team. For those who don't know, the first episode of a series is very important, as it's supposed to give you an idea of what your show is about and who your main character is. To my knowledge, this koala is our main character, and also a superhero, question mark? If this guy is our main character, why are you having him go to assemble a superhero team if we don't even know who he is or what he does? What these first 20 seconds show is that I should care about this koala making a team of superheroes before I even get an understanding of who this guy is as a character, which is not how a pilot should go. Anyways, Koala goes to find his superhero team, which honestly isn't a bad idea for our first episode. Sure, it would be better if we got some reasoning behind why Koala is assembling this team in the first place, but I digress. The next scene has a guy stealing a bunch of money until Dogman shows up and uses telekinesis to take out the robber? Okay, no. To my knowledge, we've seen Dogman on this channel before without telekinesis. So why does he have superpowers now? You could make the argument that this series takes place in a different universe than the regular Plushworlds universe, but that's not even implied here, so this comes off as really confusing. Koala then invites Dogman to the superhero team, and Dogman accepts.
See you, Koala. My name's Mr. Fluffles.
Oh, so now you tell us his name. Great. Anyways, after Mr. Fluffles recruits Dogman, he sees Blue Toad jump into the water, and he waits for him to resurface, and he waits for an hour and 45 minutes? Okay, what the heck? You're telling me that as soon as you see somebody jump into the water, you wait for over an hour for them to resurface instead of, jumping in to save him in case he's drowning and is unable to resurface? Some superhero you are. And oh wow, Blue Toad resurfaces like Mr. Fluffles thought he would. Because having your main characters know literally everything is the easiest way to progress their story apparently. Blue Toad mentions that he also has a superpower, and his power is to breathe underwater.
Okay, so how? People can't even survive 15 minutes underwater. Well, because my superpower is that I can breathe underwater.
Okay, first off, why do you use the word superpower in your sentence as if everyone has superpowers? If you walk up to somebody and say, my superpower is breathing underwater, it sounds like you think everyone around you also has superpowers. And second off, if breathing underwater is your power, why were you even underwater for that long in the first place? What would you gain out of being underwater for that long? At least Dogman's superpower made sense. His telekinesis would be used to stop criminals. Oh, and one thing I do want to mention is this. These characters are bland. None of the characters we have seen so far have any personality in them, which is a problem as this is your first episode. I get writing character personalities isn't easy, but it can become easy if you put effort into them. This video feels like it was rushed and made in less than 20 minutes, which isn't a good sign. The next 3 minutes of this episode is Mr. Fluffles recruiting Mario and Luigi to the team, and since these characters don't have any personality either, there's nothing very interesting to note from these 3 minutes. However, one thing, and this will be a bit nitpicky, but I don't care, I do want to mention is this.
Please, I don't want to be shot. Well, too bad, kid. Stand down, kid. Stand down, kid. I'm making a shield. Okay.
Do you see the issue? If you don't, I'll tell you. When Charizard shoots the gun, it takes 30 plus seconds for the bullet to reach the shield, when bullets tend to normally move at the speed of light. That's another problem I have with this video. The logic is almost non-existent. It is a minor problem, sure, but it's still noticeable. Moving on, Mr. Fluffles gets a crime alert for a number block that's throwing Jenga blocks. Wow, the stakes are super high. We really have to stop this guy before he steals all the bumpers off of cars. With that, a fight is about to commence. Now, this is actually the perfect opportunity to make a really good action scene with the superheroes using their powers to fight the bad guy. So let's see what we got.
Water, human. Water, human. Water, human. You know the one thing I like about water? What? You can't breathe in it. No! Toad! No, Toad! We already lost the member. Toad.
Okay, for superheroes, you guys are so dramatic at the thought that another superhero was simply thrown into the water. There's a thing called swimming. Have you ever heard of it? Also, the guy didn't even throw Blue Toad into the water. He just threw him to a wall. Were you in that big of a rush to get this video out that you couldn't even color a piece of paper blue to make it look like water and just tape it to the ground? Cause this is just the laziest use of visual representation I've ever seen. Back to the fight. As soon as the bad guy finds out that the others are superheroes, he runs away. And Dogman throws into a wall, and then Luigi just finishes him off. Is this seriously what this first episode was building up to? This is literally the most generic fight I've ever seen. Actually, scratch that. This isn't even superheroes fighting a bad guy. This is superheroes beating up a completely random guy. So not only does this video have extremely bland characters, have a huge lack of exposition, but it also has a horribly lackluster fight scene for a series that's supposed to revolve around superheroes, for God's sake. Anyways, the superheroes say that the fight was quote-unquote really nice, and then the episode ends. We don't even get a proper conclusion. I shouldn't be surprised. And that was Standing Soldiers Season 1, Episode 1, also known as A Team Forms. So let's get into the overall thoughts. The only positive I can give this video is the decent idea behind it. I could at least see that this episode had something going for it. However, all the problems of this episode include a poorly written exposition, bland characters, lack of logic, noticeable elements that are rushed and lazy, and a lackluster ending in battle. With all the positives and negatives out of the way, my final rating for this episode is a 1 out of 10, which lands in the terrible category. Now, for those who don't know, a 1 out of 10 is the lowest rating I will go, and I think a 1 out of 10 is the most accurate rating for this train wreck of a pilot, as all the elements that are supposed to make a good first episode are either done very poorly or not even applied to this episode. I really do want to see this series improve, as I do think there is a cool and interesting idea behind it. If Plushworlds takes note of the problems of this first episode and fixes them in a second episode, this series will be on the fast track for success for me in no time.